When I first started my career as an orthopedic surgeon 27 years ago, I thought I knew everything about knees. I studied anatomy to the smallest details, mastered all modern surgical techniques, read mountains of research. I was confident I understood what destroys knee joints: trauma, genetics, age, wear and tear. Everything seemed logical and predictable, but then something happened that completely changed my understanding. And what I discovered shocked me so much that I reconsidered my entire approach to treating patients. This happened 5 years ago. Two women came to my appointment. Both were 58 years old. Both led active lifestyles. Both had practically identical changes on MRI: moderate arthritis, cartilage thinning, small meniscus tears. From a structural damage standpoint, they were almost twins. But here's what was astonishing. One of them lived a normal life, went hiking, played with grandchildren, worked in the garden, and pain barely bothered her. The other couldn't walk even 100 meters without excruciating pain, couldn't sleep at night, took mountains of painkillers, and begged me to do surgery. I was puzzled. Identical damage, same age, but why such a colossal difference in symptoms? I started digging deeper, began asking questions not just about knees, but about everything: work, habits, nutrition, sleep, stress, life in general, and gradually the picture began to clear. The woman without pain worked as a florist. She constantly moved, but these were varied movements. Sometimes she stood, sometimes squatted, sometimes walked. Never long in one position. She ate simple, natural food because she grew vegetables herself, slept well, there was little stress in her life, beloved work, stable family. She was happy. In short, the woman with pain worked as an accountant, 8 hours a day at a computer, practically without movement, ate processed foods and fast food because there was no time to cook, slept poorly, often woke up. Work was a source of constant stress. Tyrant boss, conflicts with colleagues, fear of being fired. She was exhausted physically and emotionally. And then it hit me. It wasn't just about the knees. It was about systemic inflammation, about her body being in a constant state of high alert. Chronic stress caused cortisol release, which increased inflammation throughout the body, including joints. Poor nutrition added pro-inflammatory substances to the blood. Lack of sleep prevented tissue recovery. Immobility led to fluid stagnation and muscle weakening. All of this overlapped, creating a perfect storm for chronic pain. This was a moment of enlightenment for me. I started researching the connection between lifestyle and knee pain more deeply. And what I discovered was truly shocking. It turned out that the main enemy of your knees isn't running, not squats, not age. The main enemy is low-grade chronic inflammation that corrodes your joints from the inside, slowly, imperceptibly, but relentlessly. And what causes it? Things most people don't even think about. Let's start with sugar. When you eat sugar or fast carbohydrates, blood glucose levels spike sharply. The body releases insulin to deal with this. But chronically elevated insulin triggers inflammatory processes. Moreover, excess sugar binds to proteins in a process called glycation, and these glycation products accumulate in cartilage tissue, making it rigid and brittle. I started asking all my patients with knee pain about their nutrition, and almost all had the same picture: breakfast, sweet cereal or pastry; snack, cookies or chocolate; lunch, pasta or potatoes; dinner, carbs again, plus S month in the mountains, away from civilization; clean air, natural food, no chemicals. When I returned, I felt the difference. The slight chronic inflammation I didn't even notice before, slightly stiff joints in the morning, mild fatigue, all disappeared. That's when I understood how immersed we are in a toxic environment and don't even realize it. The gut. Yes, gut and knees are connected. When gut microbiota is disrupted, and this happens from antibiotics, poor nutrition, stress, the intestinal wall becomes permeable. Through it, particles of undigested food, bacteria, toxins enter the blood. The immune system attacks them, creating systemic inflammation. And this inflammation hits the joints. I started recommending probiotics and fermented foods to patients. Results were astonishing. Many noted decreased pain and knee swelling after a month or two just from restoring gut health. Vitamin D deficiency, a modern pandemic. 80% of the population has insufficient levels of this vitamin, and it's critically important for joint health. It regulates the immune system, reduces inflammation, participates in calcium metabolism. Without sufficient vitamin D, cartilage degrades faster. I started checking vitamin D levels in all patients with knee pain. The vast majority had levels below 30 nanograms per milliliter, which is considered deficiency. After normalizing levels to 50, 60, many felt significant improvement. Sedentary lifestyle. Not only because muscles weaken, but because movement is a pump for joint fluid. Cartilage has no blood vessels. It's nourished through diffusion from joint fluid. And this fluid circulates thanks to movement. When you sit 8 hours straight, cartilage starves, literally dies from lack of nutrition. Excess weight, not only mechanical load, but metabolic inflammation. Fatty tissue, especially visceral, produces pro-inflammatory cytokines. The more fat, the more inflammation. And this inflammation destroys joints from within. What really shocked me is how interconnected everything is. Poor nutrition causes inflammation and disrupts sleep. Poor sleep increases stress and sugar cravings. Stress disrupts digestion and reduces motivation to move. Inactivity leads to weight gain. Excess weight increases inflammation. And so in a circle, the loop tightens tighter and tighter. I realized I can't treat knees in isolation. I must look at the person as a whole, at their lifestyle, nutrition, sleep, stress, relationships, environment. Only then can I truly help. Surgery can replace a joint, but if inflammation isn't eliminated, pain will return. Maybe in another knee, maybe in hips or back, but it will return because the cause isn't eliminated. Now, I don't start treatment with pills or MRI. I start with a conversation about life. What do you eat? How do you sleep? How much do you move? How do you cope with stress? Do you have support? Do you feel happy? And based on answers, we build a plan. Yes, we work with the knee, exercises, strengthening, proper biomechanics. But we also work with inflammation, change nutrition, improve sleep, learn to manage stress, restore social connections, and results speak for themselves. People ready to change their lifestyle, get better results than after any surgery. Pain leaves not only from knees, but from the whole body. Energy improves, mood, quality of life overall. This is what really destroys your knees. Not age, not genetics. Chronic inflammation caused by a lifestyle that's become normal in the modern world. Good news, this can be changed. It's in your hands. And when you do it, your knees will thank you.